Let's talk about changing file permissions and ownership on Linux files. How do we change file permissions on a Linux file? Well, there is a command for that. That command is CHOWN, for change owner. Convenient, yes? Let's practice using that command so we can actually get good at using it. You gotta practice to get good, boys. Strange how that works. Let's practice using that command so we can actually get good at using it. You gotta practice to get good, boys. Strange how that works. So what do we want to change the ownership on a folder? Well, there's a flag for that. We have to use the capital R flag. So inside of our current working directory, we have a folder called test folder. It is owned by root. Let's change both test folders ownership as well as the ownership of all the files beneath it. To do that, we do change own -r test./test folder. Forgot the N in change own. There we go. And then when we go back to ls-alr, we'll see this folder is now owned by test instead of root like it was just a few seconds ago, right? And that's how you change the ownership on a directory. What if we want to set the user owner and group owner of a group at the same time? Well, the change own command actually lets us do that. Let's try it out. In order to do that, let's say we have file 2 here that is owned by root. If we wanted file 2 to be owned by test, we would do change own, and then we will set the owner to test, and then we will set the group to sales, and then we would do /file 2. And then when we do ls-alh, you'll see file 2 is now owned by the sales group and the test user. What if we want to set just the group? Well, we can use the change own command to do that as well. That's pretty simple to do that. We're going to use file 3 as our test mule here. So to change file 3, we'll do change own, and we leave the first part blank, and then we do colon, and then we do sales, and then we point this at /file 3. So we're leaving the owner alone and changing the group. And then when we do ls-alh on file 3, you'll see the owner is now root, but the group has changed to sales. My preferred tool to change ownership on files is change ownership. Very easy to remember. There is, however, another tool that'll let you change group ownership. That tool is of course called change group. Let's work with it for a little bit. You don't really need to know it once you understand change ownership, but hey, the book wants you to know, so we shall know. To use change group, we simply do change group, and then we enter the name. To use change group, we simply enter change group, and then we enter the name of the account, in which case we're going to use sales, and then we're going to point it to the file we want it to do. So it's going to be file 4. And then when we ls-alh, we can see file 4 is now part of the sales user group, where before file 4 was part of the root user group. Thank you for watching. We have now learned how to use both change group and change owner. Please stay tuned for more as we learn more Linux stuff. I hope I'm keeping you riveted and entertained.